What's up, everybody, and welcome back to CK Café.
Today we're going to be joined by the incredible filmmaking duo Grant and Adam Conversano of Apple House Pictures.
They are incredible filmmakers. They've made some really wonderful short films, documentary work, and now working on their debut feature, which is going to be pretty cool.
In this conversation, we talk about all things filmmaking, talking about growing a company out of a pandemic, and what it's like working with your sibling, which is a really interesting and
Special dynamic.
Special dynamic indeed.
Yeah.
And it was such a fun conversation, and we can't wait to share it with you. So without further ado, please enjoy this episode of CK Café.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to CK Café.
Yeah. We're here with the amazing Grant and Adam.
Hi.
How you guys doing?
Hey, good. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank
you
you so
coming
much
on.
for being here.
Yeah,
We're
of
very
course,
excited
of
to
course.
have you.
Yeah, happy to be here.
super pumped. Can you introduce yourselves to the audience, please?
Yes, I'm Adam Conversano.
Grant Conversano. We are brothers, if that part isn't apparent. But yeah, we're brothers, and we make films together. We write, and direct,
amazing.
and produce movies. Yeah.
Wow. What is it like working with your brother? I guess the question's for both of you.
Yeah, I think it's a more accurate thing for both of us to answer. What I usually say to people, I ask people if they have siblings, and then they go, "Oh yeah," and then it's just like it's exactly like that.
Yeah.
But that's my answer. I don't know what you would say as the older one.
I mean, people ask like if this was our plan or something, as if like we thought about this when we were like 5 years old, and like I mean, it sort of developed this way over time. Specifically, so I went to film school. And then you studied painting in high school. And after that, then you went to the same film school, UNC School of the Arts. And then I moved to New York. Didn't really know what I was doing. I was PAing on stuff and working for different filmmakers and, just trying to piece it together. And I was actually going back home for Thanksgiving, and it was your birthday around that time as well. And so I went into the Strand to buy a gift I didn't really know I was going to get. This is a true story. And I just walked in and saw this book that had just come out called Like Brothers by Mark and J. Duplass. I was like, oh, this would be a good gift.
Yeah.
They signed it. Like, whatever, get this gift. And I didn't really think much of it. Then I opened the book, and I sat down and I started reading. And I read the entire book in one sitting because it was them kind of telling their life story from the vantage of being, there's a lot of overlap and similarities between obviously how they made work in their 20s and started their company and did all these things. And I thought, oh, that makes sense. And so I went back home and gave you the book. I said, read this and tell me what you think. And then we started being like, maybe we should start a company. This is all true. This is insane. We decided to do this. So then the first thing we did was like bought a domain, set up an email. And this was right before COVID.
Wow.
No.
And there was a Emily Best from Seed and Spark was at UNC School of the Arts giving a speech, and that's where you were at the time, and I graduated from there, so I came. And we talked to Emily briefly, and we told her, oh, we're starting this thing like Mark and Jay did, and she knows Mark, and she sent a text to him, and the first email we got was from Mark Duplass.
Wow.
And he said, I just heard about you guys. Best of luck. It's going to be tough, but you can do it. And then the next day, they like shut down the state. And it was sort of this like, I don't know, this like shaman from the other side giving this like kind of spiritual prayer. Like, all right, the storm's coming.
Yeah.
And then it kind of did, obviously.
Yeah.
And that was so basically during lockdown, we started our company. And now we're here. Yeah. So that's like a long way to answer that question.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a crazy story.
That's really, really crazy. Yeah. I mean, I find it like so fascinating to, work with people that are in your life on a personal level as well. Rosie and I work together. We're partners. We've been with each other for many years now. Mm-hmm. And, there's a certain way of how you talk with one another, the boundaries that you set, how you make stuff, how you're focused on creating stuff and growing your business or your art, and then also having to remember that you guys are brothers and your family too. Yeah. It's a weird place to be, but I'm sure it's special and informs your filmmaking as well too, which is really, it must be really right? Like,
I mean,
how
I
does
think
it
so,
feel?
but I also, I mean, people say that a lot, and I think it's true. And on the other side is also like we've both worked with people who are not like I'm saying you can try to go make a film, and then those people you make it with, you're gonna get just as in they are either way, right? And so I think the other side of it is
we have years of experience on that part.
Right. It's like you're gonna have to find people become your family whether you like it or not when you make a film, because it's so intense. It's such an intense dynamic to
so true.
do this kind of work. So
wow, it's amazing.
Have you gotten a chance to talk to Mark Duplass since
we've
that
emailed
initial
some that's
a couple. Like,
we've emailed some,
like, hey, and,
but
it would be so
passing,
nice to tell him like how much that
you
know,
should watch this.
kept you going.
He'll watch this,
Yeah.
and then he'll message you guys.
No, I mean, it's I guess that was 6 years ago now. So
Wow.
I don't know. We've emailed some, but in the process of trying to get a film made. So it's I'm sure we'll see each other at some point. But
That's great.
Because I love I mean, when I used to teach drama to kids and stuff, and you have little moments with people on their journeys to their fulfilling their goals with their craft or whatever, and you don't realize how much as a teacher or a mentor it really can mean to somebody. But I bet it would mean a lot to him to hear that was so impactful.
Totally.
Yeah, especially with the brothers of it all. That's so cute.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, you guys, I mean, you're trying to get a bunch of things made, but you guys have also made some amazing work. I think we got to see your short, and we loved your short. Can you go through sort of how you guys came up with the concept and give a little pitch about the short? I guess it's out too for everybody to see.
So our short's Summer's End. It's Vimeo staff pick and online a bunch of places, but it's about a family vacation that goes wrong. Essentially, the oldest sibling discovers that his father is on the same dating app that he is, while they're both trying to get away from the vacation itself, and then it all kind of falls apart from there. But yeah, I mean, as we've said, it's it's kind of the meeting of some semi-autobiographical elements and kind of just the films that we are inspired by, and how can you take your life experience and make it into something cinematic that actually tells a story that it has room for other people. It's not just about writing from your life and translating that one-to-one. It's what is truthful about this, and how can that be something that's translatable to other audiences?
Yeah, I mean, we grew up in the South. We grew up in North Carolina, and our parents are currently divorced. And yeah, look, there are elements of that film that are certainly close to our parents. And where the film was shot in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, is near where we would go as a family growing up to the beach there. That being said, there are a lot of elements in the film that are fictional, or rather come from, other stories we've heard in that area. And Myrtle Beach is an area where people kind of go. It's like this David Lynch Las Vegas by the coast in the South, and it's where people go to they'll do things there they wouldn't do at home. And I think that was a lot of the inspiration of the film too, was just the location was such a strange place, and we wanted to get underneath the surface of the idyllic American family and what happens when they kind of descend into the underworld of a vacation. That was kind of the beginning of sort of trying to write that.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's such a beautifully photographed film too. Truly, it's stunning. And I mean, the story itself is so interesting, and you can't put it down, right? It's just so well made. But I mean, from a visual perspective, I mean, you guys really just captured something that was really, really gorgeous.
I mean, we were really lucky to work with Greta Zazula. I mean, you could talk about how that worked, but yeah, she's an incredible cinematographer. She just shot The Testaments, which is out now, so it's kind of amazing to get to work with her. But you worked with her a while ago before the short.
I met Greta after film school. I was production intern at the Sundance Directors Labs in 2018, and Greta was there. She had just shot Never Going Back, which is one of her first features that kind of went to Sundance, broke out, and then she was one of the lab they invite up and coming DPs, and so yeah, we met there that summer, and then I moved to New York, and she was shooting a feature film, What Breaks the Ice, and then I was on the camera team for her on that film, and then we became friends through that process, and was like, oh, if you have ever script, like, let me know. And you know, a series of years went by, and then we had this project, and she said yes, and we went down and did it, and no, very grateful to have been able to collaborate with her on that film, because I think she elevated the process in so many ways. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I think I'm curious, like, what your guys' process is with, you guys directed it together, right? So what's your process like working together in that sort of way? Because I know, like, producing stuff together is one thing, right? But directing something, two people directing is challenging. How do you guys divide and conquer, you know?
Yeah, I mean, something I say a lot is that, like, you know, if you're directing, there's always 5 things to do for one person.
Sure.
And so now there's 2 of us that can do of those things. I mean, you know, on this set in particular, it was a lot of, like, tag teaming between, like, talking about setting up the frame or talking to the actors, or sometimes, like, where's the grip truck going to go? This, like, you could see it, you got to move around the building. So just, I mean, the fact that there were 2 of us, that made it easier to just kind of, like, divide and conquer, and, like, we're on different sides of the set making something happen. And then when we're rolling, it's just kind of, everything's set up for that moment.
Sure.
Do you find one of you is more like of an actor's director and one more of a technical, or do you share equal parts in both?
I think so. I mean, you could talk about, I mean, also, like, you know, another great collaborator or filmmakers we worked with, or Grant's worked with in particular, Celine and Logan. They're married, and
Celine Held and Logan George. They made a feature film, Topside, that I was their assistant on.
Okay, cool.
I was like a, you know, so first feature, wore many hats on that film, but you know, watching them work together was also inspiring, because I think Logan kind of tends to lead the editing of their films, and in that film in particular, Celine was an actor in it, so they sort of, you know, you took divide and conquer on the set in various ways. And I think you know, Adam typically leads in the editing of the films, and I spent a lot of time in the drama school as well, where I went to at UNCSA. So I think with the actors, it's sort of like good cop, bad cop. Like, we try to get there, and if we're not getting there, I'm like, all right, I can't do it.
I'm bad cop.
No, I probably maybe sometime bad cop goes first, then you're good cop. I don't know. I mean, so it's not exactly like one or the other.
Yeah, it's not like an exact formula that you guys have.
But you also have like a visual art background, and you can like storyboard, which I don't know how to do, and so you draw these like very elaborate diagrams, which are helpful. And, you know.
Yeah, that's fun. But yeah, I mean, I think we took a lot. I mean, I think that those are already our inclinations before making the short.
Sure.
And looking to how Celine and Logan worked, I think that was kind of a waypoint to say, okay, this is how we can, like, think about that before going into production. And by the time we got there, it was just a matter of, like, having done as much prep as possible, and then it was kind of clear, like, what needed to be done, and then just leaning into that method of just, like, what can I do, what can you do, and how can that lead to the scene getting made.
That's amazing. I think it is kind of cool, like what you said, like having someone to fall back on a little bit, you know. That's really great, especially with actors, right? Like, sometimes just what you're saying is not, it's just not clicking, you know. It's okay. Sure. It happens. It's a live sport in that sense, right?
Or sometimes I would be with the actors and would be very, you know, in that zone, and I know we're doing a take, and I know the camera's somewhere, but I genuinely forgot, like, where the camera is.
Sure.
And you and Greta would be like, this is the frame we need for the edit.
Or you'd be like, all right, what's the next shot? I'd be like, we're doing this. You're like, okay.
Yeah. So at a certain point, like, I'm sort of would be in it with, you know, in the zone with the actors, but kind of forgetting about the movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The apparatus of the movie. And I think that's helpful to be able to, like, let go of the technical side sometimes, knowing that you're thinking about the edit. And like, you would get shots that I didn't even see until we were in post. I'm like, when did that happen? It's like when you were talking to them, we were rolling on other things.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even know we were doing that. So
someone will catch you when you fall. That kind of way of thinking. That's amazing.
Yeah,
it's so cool. That's so cool. Yeah, it's such a different approach than, you know, I as a director as well, like, approaching stuff on my own, sometimes there's just this overwhelming sense of like, okay, has to be my vision. I have to come up with this thing. I gotta make sure I know how to answer all these questions. Being able to lean on each other to really create something, I think that's what makes your work that I've seen so far feel so strong, because it's every aspect of it that feels so strong. And it's great that you guys each have your own strengths. Yeah.
Thank you.
Congrats. Yeah. Congrats on your short. I know you guys are also working on other projects and, trying to work in the feature space as well. So, you've made a few shorts, right? And
Right.
now you're hopefully getting into that feature space too, right?
Yeah, that's the goal.
Where it's like minor league baseball, you just like,
I get it, yep.
we're waiting to go to the Mets or the Yankees or whichever.
Yeah.
We'll go to any team, any team. I mean, the jump to a feature feels like a big jump, and there's a lot to navigate and a lot of different aspects of that we're trying to figure out.
Sure.
So, as we were saying earlier, there's the filmmaking part itself, as in literally the writing and shooting and editing. I think that's the part that a lot of people obviously focus on at first when you learn how to do this stuff. But then there's so many elements in terms of, like you were saying earlier, like the marketing and then the getting audiences involved and getting, not exactly
butts and seats.
butts and seats, but also I guess advocates for the film at every stage, like the investors or the producers or the actors or the audiences. Like it's a 24/7 campaign, it feels like across so we're learning that and trying to figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
So,
and it's a multi-year campaign too.
Yes. Yeah.
That's as we've learned as well. Like it's not, especially on an independent level, right? I don't know, the studio system I know works very differently, but in the independent level, you could just be sitting on something for forever and just be trying to get it made, knocking on all the doors. Things seem like they're going according to plan, and then your entire plan gets ripped up, and it's got to keep at it. Yeah, it's a challenging place to be in for sure.
Yeah.
What have you guys felt like with that jump from envisioning a short to then envisioning a feature? What have you felt beyond just the other stuff besides the creativity? What have you felt has been the hardest aspect of it?
I mean, I think the state of the industry is pretty dire, and I think it's that's been apparent in every conversation we've had. I mean, films are still getting made, films are still getting seen, bought, and sold, and that's good. I think it's just that it's still in flux, and the conversations we're having is that if it's a certain size, it's got to be a guarantee slam dunk, or where it's a little you really gotta.
Well, it's expensive to make movies, and it's either your money or someone else's, and you have to be responsible of that. And what I mean, I think what Adam's also talking about is you keep hearing stories of how films will spend X amount to be made, and then even if they get into the big festivals, only so many are getting distribution offers, and the more that is the case, it's understandable why someone would want to park their money somewhere else. That is totally understandable. I think we're at the basic challenge is how to answer the question of why should someone pay for this. I was just talking to a friend yesterday who just financed his feature film that he just wrapped on because he got some money from his divorce, and he said, I'm putting it in the film.
That's amazing.
He just financed it from the divorce. So he said
the divorce paid for it.
Literally.
Man,
so I mean, there are different ways to get it done, and that's how he did that.
Yeah, so you gotta how can you navigate the macroeconomics? I mean, that's one way to do it. And so for us, it's we have a couple of different things we've been working on for some time that people we've adapted a novel, Sugar Run, into a feature screenplay, and that's in conversations currently. But it's there are elements that make it not necessarily the cheapest movie in the world. So we're also considering, what is the cheapest movie we could make that is still not just that's still trying to get something across cinematically. And that was also true with the short, is we wanted that to convey something formally and not compromise on you pair. The other part of it is pairing back so far that it's not clear that what your choices are, rather than you're just being limited by your financial circumstances in a film. So I think we're in the midst of considering what that looks like as a feature.
Yeah,
totally. We just made a feature and did exactly that, what you're talking about. Okay, what do we have access to? How can we make a feature that with what we have,
Right.
essentially. So like Ethan's family runs a soccer shop, so we were
cool.
like, let's make that one of the locations, like,
Yeah.
you know, and then a soccer field is free.
Mhm.
And then like all of these things, so we made the film around the fact that we were working with very little budget.
And and it, you know, it's really interesting because like we are working on a few features, and you know, some that are in development, some that are in the seeking finance stage, and like very close if we can knock out this money that we need. But what we've learned is like in the middle of all of that, right, that could take years to get a $1.5 to $5 million feature funded.
Oh, which would just like, that's the dream.
It's a dream, and it's like that. You want that. You're looking for that funding or more or a little bit less, whatever it is. And in the meantime, you're not making anything.
Right.
And what we realized was like, you know, we're lucky to be able to do this full time and work in the creative space, but also it's like, but the narrative work, if you don't exercise that muscle, I don't, it's not that you lose it, but it doesn't help, you know. If you just let it just sit there, and we have made so many shorts, we love making short films. We're like, what else could we do? And that's where through circumstance it was like, let's make a micro budget, let's fund it ourselves, let's grab friends, we shot it on iPhone, and we shot it, I mean, with a great iPhone and rigged up and all that stuff, but still, like, we made it with what we had access to, what we could easily buy, and with a group of people who were just passionate about the story, right?
Do you find that it's like a bit of a party? Do you find that it's like a bit of a chicken and egg situation, that like a lot of people are interested in your feature but want you to have made a feature before, but it's like, how can I make my first feature if no one will let me?
The chicken comes first.
Yeah, like it has to. That's sort of something that kind of like pushed us to like, let's just do it for no money and do it on an iPhone, because we were like, and then at least we have one, and then maybe people will
and even
take that leap of faith.
Exactly. What we found was like, you know, it's not, it's an iPhone, so like it's only gonna look so good. There's only so much we can do with it. There's only so, you know, and there's a lot you can do with it nowadays, but you know, we know the limitations that has and what the way it looks, especially in the cinematic landscape right now. But we say, you know what? If we, like Rosie's saying, if we have something, it's better to have something than not have something. And we've already found that it's helped us, you know, and it's crazy, but it's and I tell it to other filmmakers too. It's just like, if you can make it, if you can find the way to make it, just find whatever's the cheapest way to get there, in order to just have something, but without sacrificing the story, without sacrificing the quality, you know, still making something that you're proud of, that you can, you know, sleep at night saying, okay, this was a good movie, you know, and I enjoyed the movie. But it's a weird place to be. I feel you. Sure.
I think, I don't know how exactly articulate this. I think what I've learned the past maybe year or so, talking to more of these people, I don't know, agents, managers, producers, executives, that like their rubric of what makes them feel confident in someone to execute is different than like what a filmmaker's inner rubric is. And I think that gap is what is holding a lot of people back, myself included, of being like, oh, but it has this and this and this, and they're not even necessarily looking for that.
We were talking to a friend of ours recently who is not in the film industry, and we were explaining all of this, and he's like, you're like athletes being traded to different teams. It's like, how fast do you run? What's your batting average? It's just like, that is like, and then this team will, from an external perspective, that's all that they care about. But you as the athlete, you have to train every day. You have to do all the, you know, nutrients and all that stuff. Like that is all on you for them, for these external factors to pick you up and take you somewhere else.
So true. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's the a weird part about this is just like, like we as artists want to always make the best thing, the thing that we feel like, no, but this is my art. This is it. But sometimes, if you want to get something made, you have to, there's some sacrifice that has to happen. But it's challenging though, because also we live in a time where it's never been easier to make a movie. Like it's easier now than ever.
This is a movie.
This is a movie.
This
right
could
now.
be. This
it
is.
could
This
be.
is. I mean, right? Like this is
Yeah.
like this might be 2 hours long. You could have watched a movie. And
Exactly.
said, so maybe someone's watching this conversation.
100%.
You know, it's
And
like,
this is it's crazy. Like
Yeah.
we're seeing content all day long. You're just going on social media, whatever it is. You're always around filmed content, so it's always there. But like to sell a movie is just so. It's just such a different art, and it's such a different. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. That's it. It's just challenging. It's a weird time.
I do think though, regardless of length, because I know people put so much emphasis on like, okay, but you haven't made a feature, but like your work is so good.
Oh, thank you.
The length thing is so annoying, but like your shorts should speak for themselves in that like your feature is going to be amazing. So
Watch
if
it,
you're,
everybody.
just take that leap of faith.
Thank you. I appreciate
It's
that.
so good.
Yeah.
It's seriously, you guys are like next level good. So
If you loop it 3 times, then it's a feature.
Yeah.
There you
Yes.
go.
Watch it 3 times.
just watch a
Yeah.
different actor each time. You're good.
Yeah. Different perspective every time.
Yeah.
That's funny. So what's besides your feature that you guys are working on? You guys say you have multiple features that you guys are writing.
Yeah, we're working on a few different scripts at the moment. We also have a short doc that's out to festivals now.
Yes.
It's called Born Secret. We made it with a friend of ours, Riley Fitzpatrick. We met in film school, and it is about his hometown in Tennessee that built the atomic bomb. So
Whoa.
his
It's crazy.
so his family worked on the Manhattan Project, and a lot of folks in this town. So this film, we went down to this town, talked to his family and a bunch of other folks. We talked to a 103-year-old woman who was there in 1940s.
She worked at the facilities that created the bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and she was there. She tells the story in the film of the day. Because it was top secret, the people who worked at the factory weren't really told what they were doing.
Yeah.
And they found out what this was when America did too, which is Truman dropped a bomb on Japan.
Yeah, I mean it's if you've seen Oppenheimer, it's exactly that. It's like, a town built in a day, everyone does stuff, they don't know what they're doing, they can't tell anyone what they're doing, and then that's the result.
Yeah, I mean this was a part of what you see in the Nolan movie. In Oppenheimer, they're in Los Alamos, and this town, Oak Ridge, is where the uranium was enriched, then shipped on trains out to Los Alamos, where the final pieces are assembled. But the town was overseen by Oppenheimer and General Groves, Matt Damon's character in the movie. Would be out in Tennessee and other parts of the country, including Los Alamos. The Nolan movie only focuses on that area. So when that movie came out, we called Riley and we're like, hey, like we should just like make a story about your town. And we went down with him and filmed it, and it's been going to film festivals, and it played at the True False Film Festival, and it's playing in LA next week, and it's going to other places now. But yeah.
How did you navigate like taking that and then putting it in a short doc?
Well, you spent like
about
2
a
years
year.
editing
Because
that.
I feel like that is like that could be as long as you would want it to be. There's so much to
yeah.
That's
unpack.
a great question. Yes.
Yeah. So how did you format that?
I mean, I think practically we tried everything, and and then everything wasn't working, and then we just kind of like took a break. And then a big part of what I guess cracked the code were 2 things. So we did a lot of present day footage of interviews and also like the town and stuff like that. But then, there's such a history to this town there, including that there was this big archival trove of this photographer, Ed Westcott, who was the photographer of the Manhattan Project. So there's all these amazing photographs from the Department of Energy that kind of like, you have all these old people talking about, back then, this is what was going on. And you're kind of like, oh, I kind of get it. And then there's all these very high resolution photos of like what that was like, and it was crazy to see that. And then the other part was realizing that how much of this story was also about Riley, our friend, and his family, and like the story of the filmmaker going in and kind of the self-reflexive nature of that. And so there was another
he adds some voiceover, so some of it starts to be like subjective from his point of view about just about himself and his town and his family. And then the film kind of opens up to like America and the question of should we be doing this or not. And this is still the town where our nuclear arsenal is developed and rich. Yes.
Yes.
That's why we
Oh,
made this
wow.
film. And the end of the film says, which is true, we finished in 2025. So, it doesn't talk into the present 2026. But the first time since the Cold War, this is the largest modernization and ramping up of nuclear production in our lifetime. It's happening right now in this country. I mean, there's many things going on in the world that made it that way. And this wasn't just under Trump. This precedes him. This was happening under Biden, and Russia, Ukraine, everything going on in the world. It's a heavy time. And there was a period of time where scientists from Oak Ridge, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, were actually going in collaboration with Russia and other satellite nations. There was an international exchange where they were helping decommission nuclear sites. The actual total number of bombs on the Earth was going down for a period after the Cold War, and it's going up right now. And that's we end the film there. We want people to understand that.
Yeah,
People
that's
do
the
not
point.
understand
Yeah.
that.
Wow.
We showed the film in Idaho and at Film Fort, and that's the point we're trying to land on, which is like, there are many issues to be concerned about as a voter in this country, but this is one of them, and it's not on the ballot. People aren't talking about this. This isn't, we need healthcare, we need a lot of things. This is also not talked about.
Yeah.
We have to talk about this.
And this,
it's
a global issue too.
a global issue, and we
wow.
yeah. So I think it's rescinded in the background of a lot of people's minds. Obviously, the boomers and older, they had the Cold War they grew up with. We didn't grow up with that, like the duck and cover drills and all that sort of stuff. The poster of the film is a image from Ed Westcott's photography, and it's in the film, but it's a photo of all these kids in the town leaving the schools, and they're let out into the woods, and they're just laying under these trees in the woods with basically covering their heads as if this is going to stop them from dying in a nuclear attack, and it isn't, and they know, and but this
The
is
adults know that.
Yeah, the adults know that, but it's sort of like we made this the poster because it's kind of encapsulates, I think, the absurdity of how whatever the world handles this issue, and so yeah, that's out on the festival circuit now. Hopefully online at in the coming months or so. But
Is it coming to New York? Can we catch it?
It just played.
It played at
Dang.
Film Diary NYC. We're hoping
Sure.
it'll play some more festivals.
Great.
But
Okay.
yes,
Cool.
yeah.
How
I'd
long
love
is
to
it?
see
How
it.
long
It's
is
like
the doc?
20 minutes.
20
Yeah,
minutes,
yeah.
great.
We wanted to make it
Wow.
approachable because obviously you can make something that's 5 hours long, but
Yeah.
no one's going to watch it. So we just
Yeah.
opened up the dialogue, and I think the film ends in a place where it asks people to think about it. It's not really telling people what to do, because I don't know what to do. Like I don't. I'm not gonna pretend like I know. What to do
Like
here,
you know
but
all the
like-
answers.
but
Yeah,
like,
but that's an
Somebody do
amazing.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but as filmmakers, right? It's like the one thing that we can do is just like, hey, this is the problem. Now let me present it to you, because we're not. I don't know if we have the ability to solve it necessarily,
No.
but bringing awareness to it is huge, and it's something that I had no idea that I don't know what I thought, but
and
it's just like this
yeah.
is a type of thing where you hear it and you're like, wait, what? What are you talking about? It's
And
insane.
the crazy part of this country, we don't have to veer too far into politics, but the president of the United States has the sole authority to launch nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
Like,
One
it's
person.
very strange
Yeah.
that that's how this works. And many other people go into the specifics of that. I think like James Cameron and some other like big filmmakers are working on movies about this right now that are going to come out in the next couple years, because I think this is back on the zeitgeist. But we made our $10,000 documentary
It's amazing though.
beside the giant, multi-million-dollar Oppenheimer.
Well,
So
congratulations
Do
on
you
that.
have plans to do more documentary work?
we do a lot of doc stuff for work, and yeah, we're shooting a doc right now as well.
cool.
That's sort of a side project, but it's nice to keep these kind of going in the background while we're working on the narrative stuff, because as you said, it takes so long. But I like doing stuff that exposes you to the world, because
Yeah.
fiction is like you're just in your head writing, but it's nice to like go and just talk to people and go from there.
Yeah, it just allows for a different kind of connection. Yeah,
Right.
it's really, really beautiful. What do you guys find is the difference for you both directing a documentary piece together versus directing a, fiction piece?
I mean, I feel like not as much as one would think, at least for me, it's just kind of like you're telling a story. I think it's like, you're maybe the process of getting there is different. I mean, with the Born Seeker in particular, I don't think we did not have all the beats down. I think we found a lot of it in post, and so maybe that's the difference, is that like you can't over prescribe the world before you get there. Like you're gonna have to just roll with it, and then maybe you can pieces that together along the way. Whereas a narrative film, you obviously have a script, and that's a kind of a blueprint of what you're trying to do.
Sure.
From there, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, can you tell a compelling story? And I think that's the goal. The end goal is the same. I don't know if you would.
Yeah, I mean, with the doc, you're trying to bring to the surface the narrative elements out of reality, and then in a narrative film, you're trying to find the truth in a made up on set. There's these lights, all these people. It's all fake, right?
Yeah.
And you're trying to find the documentary amongst the set. I'm trying to constantly, when I'm on set, I'm a little annoyed, by the. I'm trying to ignore that this is all made up.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to find what is actually going on. Even if the actors know their lines and they know, I'm supposed to stand here and then say this and then they'll say that. It's like you're always trying to find a way to mess that up, what they think they're supposed to do to get to what can just happen. And then in the opposite way, in a documentary, I mean, you could show up and like nothing's happening, and you're like, well, I'm just rolling and adding up footage and hours and hours. Well, you actually have to really be specific about when is something going on and how to emphasize that, because you're still looking for the same things that make a scene in a narrative movie is the same elements you need to work in a documentary.
Sure.
Edit, which is like beginning, middle, end. Something's changing, someone's having a moment. And those are not moments sometimes people want to be filmed. They don't want, you want someone to be like changing in front of you. And
that's true for both.
That's true for both. And then sometimes you need the camera to be there, and it's like, that's complicated. And that asks a lot of questions.
Especially from non-actors too, right?
Sure,
asks a lot
sure.
to give them,
Right.
to have them be vulnerable and truly vulnerable.
Right.
It's super challenging. So wow. That's amazing. I love doc work, but I mean, filmmakers like yourself who do both and do it so well. I mean, I'm so excited to see your doc. Like, I think it's just, it's a challenging thing, and it's, kudos to you guys for real.
Thanks. Yeah. I mean, I guess, I don't know, just thinking about it just now, cause like, maybe I felt this way all the time, but like we were talking about before during COVID, when we started like our company, which is literally just the two of us, you couldn't get actors and large groups of people together to make movies.
Sure.
So we made a documentary during COVID, kind of about COVID. And it was like, it's about the high school we went to graduating inside a NASCAR racetrack. And so it was just kind of like,
it's on Short of the Week.
It was the only thing it was just like the only thing that you could do then. And it was like, the only thing we could do was like, oh, this would be, we have nothing else we could do. So let's just film this. And it was just kind of like, it didn't feel like a documentary, because it was just like, at least we're filming at least we're making something.
Yeah.
And then,
but it was we were picking a inherently cinematic subject matter.
Yeah.
I mean, we're like, okay, something's going to happen here that's going to be interesting.
It's going to look cool.
And also something that's like, it's actually vital that you document that this happened.
Right.
Because what a crazy
It's
time
crazy.
to live through.
Yeah.
And what an absurd concept
Yeah.
that is happening.
So you would drive in, and you wear the cap and gown, but you don't get out of the car. So you go onto the track, and then you do a lap, and then when you cross the finish line, they hand you the diploma through the window, and then you speed off.
And they were playing like the graduating song, but
yeah.
it's echoing to
my
a giant
goodness.
empty stadium, and it was kind of joyful and sad and strange all at once. It
Yeah.
was very
Yeah.
strange.
Yeah.
It was
like
very,
finding hope in a dystopia.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
how
and then they
interesting.
just drove off and into the sunset. They're just like, bye, like that, and that's how the film ends.
gosh.
Yeah.
That is wild. Oh,
I'm gonna watch that.
Man. Yeah, that's incredible. I think it's just so cool, man, that you guys have that want to create documentary and create fiction work. Because I love the idea of documentary, and from a producing lens, I'm like, oh, I would love to make a real story about this. From a directing lens, I'm like, I don't even know
Yeah.
not only where to begin, but I don't know if I have it in me. You know, it's so hard.
I think that's where like I would find my strengths
Yeah.
as a director, because I used to love writing essays.
Mhm.
And they kind of remind me of the structure of writing an essay. Like, you have what you think you might conclude with,
Right.
but the whole experience of making the documentary feels very much like those explorative paragraphs of like touching on this, then we're going to this location and talking to this person, and then at the end you sort of have your conclusion. And I'm so fascinated by that, and I'm really getting in my documentary bag of watching them because I find them so cool. But I think like that's sort of, if we're talking about like how we might complement each other, I think that's like a strength I might bring to the doc world.
Docs are just it's a whole different animal, but like also kind of the same. Like you guys are saying, like there's elements of it that are so familiar to that other world. What do you guys feel? Is there one that you prefer? Do you prefer documentary over fiction, or?
Not necessarily. I mean, it's just like, what is this story about? And
Sure.
and what, again, like with the one in COVID, like that was like what was happening at that time. And then with Born Secret, it was kind of like, I mean, this was always happening, but there's kind of a cultural moment occurring with like Oppenheimer coming out.
Sure.
Like Riley would tell us about this town and about all this stuff, and it was kind of like, what? I have no touch point, not even in culture, but in like education. Like we obviously don't talk about the fact that we build the world-ending munitions like within our soil, and but now the movie that made $1 billion during Barbenheimer, like everyone knows what that
Yeah.
is.
Right,
so now
right,
there's
right.
a touch point,
Right.
and we can,
It's
and there's a
amazing, yeah.
cultural moment happening, and then can you document something that speaks to that? And I think it's just a matter, whether that's narrative or documentary, is like, what is the story that's speaking to a moment that is contributing to a conversation that's already happening?
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I love to hear from other filmmakers who just care to tell important stories and stories that inspire them, because I think that there's a lot of films that are being made especially by the big machine,
Right.
that don't feel inspired, or don't feel like they have we live in a weird time where it is vital that we are telling stories about our time, and it's vital that we're capturing this feeling, because
Both documentary and narrative.
and no matter what it is, it'd be a music video, like
Right.
whatever it is,
Right.
it's just like I think it's so important that we capture this exact moment in time now,
Right.
because who knows what it's going to be like 10 years from now, 20 years
Right.
from now. So yeah, kudos to you guys, truly, and thank you guys for coming on.
Thank
Th-
you.
I really
Yeah,
appreciate you guys hopping on.
It's
and
been super cool talking.
yeah. Tell everybody where they could maybe find you, support your projects, what you guys got going on. You can tell the camera, tell everybody.
So you can find us at Apple House Pictures on Instagram. We also have a Substack.
Yeah, we have a Substack now. We're also starting to interview filmmakers. So.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, interview us,
Yes,
please.
yes. We've
Great.
been doing it written so far. We're like, we'll like type it up. I think at some
Yeah.
point it could be cool to do it like this, but as you know, it's more work, or it's a
lot.
bigger
Yeah.
production.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. So Apple House Pictures on Instagram, and then their Substacks connected to that, and
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Cool.
Fantastic. Well,
So-
thanks so much. Thanks
Yeah.
for hopping
Thanks,
on.
y'all.
Round of applause.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Amazing.
Yeah. There you go.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank you. We appreciate you checking out this episode of CK Cafe. Thank you to Grant and Adam for hopping on the show. And thank you for listening. I said that already, but,
Yeah.
I say it again because I really mean it.
Check us out on social media at CK Productions NY.
That's it.
And make sure you follow Grant and Adam and Apple House and keep up with everything they have coming out.
Yeah, you can follow more CK on our Substack, where we do a monthly newsletter and some more content on there hopefully pretty soon.
Ooh.
That's just CK Productions. Check us out there. Check us out on YouTube as well. We drop a monthly short every single month. It's either shorts from our archive or new shorts that we're creating. So check us out there and tune in next week for the next
Stay
CK
creative,
Cafe.
kids.
Hey! Aww.